So let's dive in right into this topic. My question for you is, you have generated a lot of business from getting involved in the community, or at least become recognizable. Can you talk a little bit about what giving back to the community has done for your business, why you're passionate about it?
Sure. So I have always, for whatever reason, just been very passionate about giving back. Before I was Real Broker. Before that, I was with Century 21, and I was their giving back ambassador. And it's just something that's always really important to me. I tell people if I could just volunteer and do that all the time, and it brought me the same kind of financial reward, I would be happy doing that. I mean, I love real estate, so I found a way, and I'm grateful for our real estate business that, by being successful in the industry, I think it's so important to give back. I think it's so important to take care of your community, take care of the people around you. And over the years, I've just found different things that are very rewarding for me. And by doing that, the business just automatically comes to you.
That's good.
So I am the vice president of the Phoenix Foundation, which is a recovery high school in Frederick, Maryland. And it's the only recovery high school in Maryland. And basically, this is for students that either are coming out of some type of clinical rehab or just have an alcohol or drug problem that they've gotten under control. But instead of putting them back in the same environment, if you or I went to rehab Luke and they'd say, okay, Stacy, don't go hang out with Luke at the bar or that type of thing. But we put our kids back in the same environment. So the same peers, and it's proven that it doesn't work. And so I found this to be very interesting to me. My brother died of a drug overdose at 38 in 2006. Thank you. And I needed something to focus on and to give back. And a couple years ago, I found out about this organization, and it's just been a game changer for me because I feel like I fit in so well with my skill set and what I can do to help both the kids, the fundraising. I chair their gala every year and their auction, and just raising money to just help keep this going.
Do you do anything from the business aspect of getting involved with charity? Do you do anything to leverage that in your marketing and in what you present as a real estate agent? Or is it something that just you do, and the natural effect of that is the relationships that come?
Well, I think that it's both. So when I go on a listing presentation, part of my listing presentation talks about giving back to the community and how our team is very active in giving back. And it's not just to the Phoenix Foundation. It's really whoever needs us. And sometimes that can be to a fault, because I feel everything I see on Facebook or everything I see somewhere, I'm oh, I need to help those people. I need to help those people. But I've learned that, we need to focus, and we have, a certain amount, a certain budget that we can do, and aside from personally giving back. And I'll give you an example. It's just so close to my heart and so important. Last Friday, Phoenix Foundation had a golf tournament, typical of nonprofits. And I have 3 granddaughters, but my 9-year-old and 10-year-old granddaughter, they've learned so much about doing tote drives and diaper drives and different things to give back. They know how important it is. They know how important Toys for Tots is. So I decided that I was going to invite them to come to the golf tournament. I wasn't sure. They're young, but they're pretty mature, young 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. So they were amazing. We sold more 50-50 tickets, which was probably not legal for a 10-year-old to be selling 50-50 tickets, but we sold more than we've ever sold. And then my 9-year-old, Amira, she was doing the putting contest, and she would measure, and it was $5 for a putt. And she had people doing 6, 7, 8 putts just to see if they could get that hole in one. And just teaching them that this is what we do, and this is what we do as a family. This is what is important. They learned so much, and that gave me so much joy. That they learned about giving back.
Yeah, it's the perspective.
Stacey, you can just feel your energy, and I'm telling you, you guys can't see her obviously, and you can hear her, but I just feel the energy coming from you. That's incredible.
I love it. And so with that, I know that just in the last 3 years, I've sold probably 7 or had 7 transactions as a result of just the Phoenix school.
Wow.
And it is not like, I don't even give my spiel. Like, it's just people are like, oh, Stacy's the best realtor. And I'm not saying that. This is what people are saying, when I'm introduced at different functions and that kind of thing. And that's just, so it comes like secondary. But I think I missed part of your point when did I talk about listing presentations? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you did. You shared it in there as part of your listing presentation. I'm assuming you talk about, do you give a certain percentage of your commission, or how do you factor that?
I don't, but that's something that's definitely, it's on my agenda to figure out how I want to do that. So I would like to set up, like, for every transaction, I get X amount of dollars to a charity. And maybe it's, I have the Be Like Bob Foundation, which is a nonprofit I formed, me and my kids formed after my husband passed away. Whether it's, do we give to that? Do we give to Phoenix? Do we leave it up to the clients? How can we make that something that's more visible?
There's so many things that stand out to me as like golden nuggets. One is one of the foundational things that I think, to make a great entrepreneur. And I was thinking about this yesterday. I got a call. I had shared this on a Monday mindset training that I did for insurance agents. Is I got a call. Well, it was really a voice memo in the morning from a client of ours that basically said we messed up their account. And, they're doing 1,600 postcards with us or whatever. And we had missed 2 mailings or something like that. And so that, oftentimes, I don't know about you guys, you ever wake up and you're immediately inundated with punches in the face? It's like being a business owner or trying to grow a business is basically how many punches in the face can you take and keep going every day?
Every day, yeah.
So I get that. And I'm actually grateful for Will Penny, who we've had on the show here. He's awesome. But I'm grateful. I told him it's amazing. Feedback's a gift. But then I come into an email that's, just an accusation email that's not true, right? And it's just punch in the gut after punch in the gut. And that's just, sometimes it's great and sometimes you're down in business. So that was my yesterday. And one of the things I shared, which ties into this whole thing about charity, which ties into your values, is you must be a values-based business person. You must be a values-based entrepreneur. And one of the advantages of picking that charity that you're passionate about, or picking that thing that your mission, your cause is about, is that when you face that punch in the gut, you have something bigger than yourself that you're working for, that you're making an impact on the world that can keep you going. Because if you're not a values-based entrepreneur and you're a transaction-based entrepreneur, a profit-based entrepreneur, the problem is eventually the punches in the face is you just won't want to take them because the profit's not worth it. Because once you have a little bit of money in your account, you have no idea how much that comfort paralyzes you. And so once you have a little bit of success, so I think one aspect of having that charity that not only ties you to community that you can market with, is it should come back to what are the values that you want to represent, the impact that you want to create on the world that you are passionate about. Because when you go from, what'd you say, 57 million to 25 million, like when you take that hit in business, you have to have something bigger. I mean, obviously you want to eat and pay your bills, but you have to have something bigger that you want to push towards to get you going. Yep. And I think that's a great takeaway for people, is to sit down and go, what are my values? And how do I pick a charity that aligns with those values to move things forward? And you had mentioned kids getting the perspective of being involved with the charity. And there was a study done where they followed kids around for 70 years. There was a famous a study that's done by, I can't remember if it was Yale or Harvard, but they followed around these people for 70 years. And the only correlation of success in kids that were successful and didn't end up in depression and didn't end up in drugs and all that stuff, well, the only correlation they could find was the kids that worked growing up, that actually had to work. And whether it was chores or doing a business. And I think to myself, one of the main impacts in my life, I grew up a preacher's kid, was the mission trips that we had to do and serving at the church and in the, like, we cleaned the church and the church building and then going out and in the community. And I just think of that as such a powerful, anybody listening to this with kids, it's like, man, if you can get your kids involved with the charity that you're doing, it's even that much more powerful because you're impacting the next generation. So those are just two things that I go, man, what massive takeaways for people.
Hey, Stay Paid listeners, wasn't that a great clip?
It sure was, Josh. And if you want to hear the full episode, make sure you click right here.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.
Come on, click right here.
It's right here.
Yeah,
We got you.
right here.
It's not that hard. Go ahead.